Hey, I'm socially impaired, and Sony Pictures, you know, the ones responsible for making Pixels, the Emoji Movie, and Ghostbusters 2016, well, they're at it again with their upcoming live-action superhero flick starring the character Faith Herbert, where she will be fighting ignorance and discrimination by teaching us all that you are healthy and beautiful at any size, regardless of your actual physical health and appearance. So to kick off the advertisement, Sony Pictures has offered us this quick clip showing the general mindset behind the creation of this upcoming Sony Pictures movie. So let's check it out. Hollywood's first plus-size superhero will soon be flying into theaters. So, Sony Pictures, in their infinite wisdom, is pushing forward with a live-action superhero flick based off a fat-ass protagonist from a poorly written comic that sold very few copies and is something that almost no one is asking to see. Sony Pictures is moving forward with a live-action adaptation of the Valiant Comics superhero Faith Herbert. Faith Herbert. Well, I am sorry, but I do not have faith in this character's ability to deliver on the big screen, which I base off the comic book sales and the source material. Now, for those of you who don't know, the whole point of the character that is Faith Herbert is to promote a very unhealthy lifestyle and to spin it as a positive. So, if they really are going to be selling this movie based off her physical physique, then maybe a name change is in order to better match up with her actual physical appearance, in order to be a little bit more honest and direct. And as it just so happens, I have a small list of helpful suggestions for Sony Pictures. So, instead of the name Faith Herbert, how about Bertha? Or Fatty Fat Fat Fat? Jelly Belly? Miss Piggy? Pig Launcher? Pork Chop? Potbelly? Pretty Heavy? Super Fatty? The Sunblocker? Or what about Tubby McFatfuck? No? Well, I tried. The genre's first plus-size heroine. So, I don't really know if the term plus size is an adequate description for her physical physique. I mean, if you said that she was quadruple extra large plus giant size, then I think I would be more inclined to accept your description of this character. She is a bubbly, comic, and sci-fi loving geek. Well, I mean, she's certainly round like a bubble, and I mean, you know, good for her for being a sci-fi loving geek. But it just does not make sense to not be physically fit if you're going to be doing things that requires you to be physically fit. Also, having so little respect for your own body to the extent that you would actually allow yourself to become physically disfigured is a really poor quality that people do not look forward to in their superhero wish fulfillment genres, with telekinesis and the ability to fly. Yeah? Well, I'm guessing that's why she's so fat. So what? She just hovers her blubber butt in the air and then uses her telekinesis to fight off her foes without actually having to physically exert herself? Okay, well, I mean, at least that can explain some of this. But as a superhero who fights crime, you just can't predict every single situation and how it's going to unfold. So, in order to better prepare yourself for unexpected situations, you would want to be at the peak of your physical fitness and physical training. Or, at the very least, close to it, which the character Faith is not. In the superhero scope of mainly well-muscled men and model-thin women. Model-thin women. Model-thin. Okay, so that is either just an outright lie or a complete misunderstanding of how comic book characters are drawn and presented on the big screen. Look, I have seen those skeleton-thin, petite to no end models who walk down the runway looking like they're about to just be crushed by the sheer weight of the air molecules around them. And I can easily say that female characters in comic books are in no way drawn that way. Your average female superhero comic book character is not model thin as much as they are physically fit and toned. I mean, almost all of them have a six-pack and could probably kick your ass and mine without using their powers. So that's not being model thin, it's just being at the peak of your physical fitness and health, which is what we want our superhero characters to be. Faith is a body positive breath of fresh air. Okay. The only thing positive about this woman's body is her diabetes, okay? I mean, what's positive about having a psychological crutch that just prevents you from improving upon your physical health? There is nothing at all that is good or positive about being a giant fat-ass blubber butt that takes up as much room as humanly possible simply by existing. There is nothing positive about that. Let me just ask everyone out there outright. What do you consider to be positive? This or this? This or this? With producers Toby Jeff, Neil Mortz, and Dan Mintz on board. Well, I don't know who any of those people are, but what I do know is that through their actions, they are actively promoting the decline of a person's physical health by promoting this body positive nonsense bullshit. I mean, why don't they just promote smoking while they're at it? Why not? I mean, if this really is about relating to people, regardless of how bad that relation is, then would you not want a lot of our modern day superheroes to also smoke cigarettes? You know, so that your average smoker can better relate to those superhero characters on the big screen. No, of course not. So then why do essentially the same thing in regards to people who are very overweight? I mean, more people die from being obese than they do from smoking. And we all know how bad smoking is. So then why would you promote something that is currently killing more people? I mean, this is a character that is visibly unhealthy. And Sony Pictures is more than happy to promote this as if it was a positive thing. Look, I'll just post a question to all of you. Do you want your live-action superhero characters to be physically fit, well-developed, attractive, and healthy? Or do you want them to be giant, monstrous fat asses that have absolutely no respect for their own physical health or physical appearance? This is a crucial step forward, making the genre more inclusive. No, this is just another step in pushing a movie that's foundation is identity politics, political correctness, virtue signaling, and the promotion of a very unhealthy lifestyle, all while being a complete and utter rejection of supply and demand. That is what this is, not that other thing. Look, a part of wish fulfillment is to have problems and struggles for the character to overcome, allowing the audience to better relate to them, because these fictional characters are supposed to be a reflection of the human condition, which is very different from promoting a negative as if it was a positive. I mean, look, if this movie had to do with a main character struggling with her weight to the extent that it was actually interfering with her daily life and her overall happiness and health, and because of that, she attempted to solve this problem through healthy eating and intense exercise over a long period of time, creating a montage of progress, allowing us, the audience, to better relate to her struggle of being overweight, then I think that that is a very relatable message and is an actual positive message with a real solution to a very real problem. It would show that through perseverance and hard work, you can actually change your life for the better by committing the time and effort. This is not that. This is a celebration of a very unhealthy lifestyle while completely ignoring the idea that being very much overweight is not only extremely damaging to your health, but is also very detrimental to your physical physique too.